Meet Alia, our main character. She's got a Russian dad, is top of her class, and is great at all sports. She's also the student council treasurer. The first thing we hear her say is a firm no to a guy asking for her number. Everyone is shocked because this guy is really popular with the girls, and he got rejected right away. They start to wonder how high her standards must be. But Alia already likes someone. She's in love with Kuze, the boy who sits next to her in class. Kuze is a hopeless otaku who stays up late watching anime and is always tired in class. But Alia thinks his sleepy face is cute. And here's where being Russian comes in handy for Alia. She can call Kuze cute in Russian, and he shouldn't be able to understand. This happens a lot in the anime. Alia will express her true feelings in Russian and then pretend she was saying mean things about him because she's a tsundere. What she doesn't know is that he actually understands her. When he was in elementary school, he used to play with a Russian girl who lived near his grandpa's house. He learned Russian because he wanted to talk to her so badly, but now he doesn't even remember her name. He keeps all this a secret from Alia because he's afraid of how she'll react. At lunchtime, Kuze's childhood friend, Suo, asks to eat with him, and Alia joins them. Just to clarify, Suo is not his Russian childhood friend, she's a Japanese friend. At any rate, during the whole lunch, Suo is super clingy with Kuze, making Alia jealous. When they're alone, Alia says she's surprised he has a female friend. This confuses him because she's also his female friend. That comment makes her happy because he considers her a friend. Another day, she comes to school with one of her socks all wet because a truck splashed water on her as it drove by. So she takes off her wet sock and asks Kuze to get her spare sock from her locker. When he brings it, she asks him to help her put it on as a reward for getting it. In Russian, she says it's also a reward for her, but boy doesn't waste any time and takes her up on her offer. While helping her, he accidentally touches her coochie, which makes her kick him and accidentally flush her panties. A while later, she apologizes for kicking him, but he says he should thank her for showing him something nice and even bows. This time she punches him, but they make up a bit later when he buys her favorite drink. Some other day, Suo asks Kuze to help her and Alia clean a storage room. When Alia sees how close they are, she sarcastically says she's sorry for being the third wheel. In Russian, she asks Kuze to give her some attention too, but he doesn't respond to avoid revealing that he understands her. When they're done, Kuze goes home and sees women's shoes at the entrance. It's Suo. She's staying in his apartment that night. And this is when we end up getting the reveal. Suo is pretending to be Kuze's childhood friend at school, but they're actually siblings. She argues that she's not really lying since siblings can also be considered childhood friends. After saying that, she continues reading her manga, a manga about what she calls wincest. Kuze asks if the characters in the manga are step-siblings or something, but she says it's only good when they're blood-related. Based. In the morning, Suo wakes her brother up like this. She says she's waking him up with love and warmth, but he tells her to get off already. And she asks why. Is he getting a stiffy? Damn, she really practices what she preaches. Suo says they have a date that day. First, they watch a movie, then they go clothes shopping together. While they're shopping, they both notice Alia watching them from behind. So Suo goes over to talk to her. Apparently, it was all a coincidence. Suo asks Alia if she's had lunch yet, and when Alia says she hasn't, Suo invites her to join them. However, Kuze doesn't want Alia to come along because they're going to a place that serves super spicy ramen. But Alia doesn't care and says she'll go. Obviously, she will regret that decision. While they wait for their food, Alia comments on Suo's outfit, saying it's kinda boyish. Suo explains that she was in bed with Kuze that morning, and because she wanted to wear something different that day, she asked him to let her borrow the shirt she's now wearing. Kuze tries to explain what really happened, but Alia isn't buying it. Just then, their orders finally arrive, and they dig in. Alia is literally crying while eating the ramen, but Suo decides to torture her even more. She tells her to try a seasoning that makes the food even spicier, and for some reason Alia listens to her. She folded under zero pressure. That was her breaking point. She can't take more spice and cries out in pain. After they're done eating, Suo runs off, saying she has something to buy. Alia takes the opportunity to invite Kuze to go clothes shopping with her. We get to see her changing. I'm just gonna shut up and show it to you. She shows her first outfit to him and he praises the hell out of her. That makes her blush a lot. But then she thinks he might be so good at complimenting girls because he's used to it. Speaking of Suo, Alia's next outfit is boyish because that's the style Suo was wearing that day. Then we see her try on more outfits, 4 more to be precise. She's really having fun. Now, for her final outfit, she picks something revealing and sexy, but unfortunately for her, Suo has come back, and they both tell her she's so daring. She wants to disappear. Even on the train ride home, she's still in shock, so much so that it takes her a while to realize they both got off at the same station. When she gets home, her older sister, Masha, notices she's a bit down and asks what happened, but Alia says nothing happened, she just met Kuze and his childhood friend. Masha says Alia gets really worked up when it comes to Kuze. Does she like him? Alia insists they're just friends, but then Masha asks how they became friends, since Alia usually hates indifferent slackers. So we get a flashback to find out. When Alia was younger, she got really frustrated with her classmates. She felt like none of them were ever as driven as she was. In group projects, she always did her part splendidly, but her partners always let her down. So in the end, she decided to do everything herself. When she grew up, she transferred to a prestigious school where she met Kuze. She was surprised to find slackers even in a top school. Later on, with a school festival coming up, she was once again working alone, harder than everyone, making costumes for their haunted house. That's when Kuze told her the Handicrafts Club had agreed to help with the costumes. He also got permission to stay overnight at school because he knew a special event like that would motivate even the lazy ones. He told her that if she was working alone because she wanted to make their haunted house the best it can be, she was putting effort into the wrong things. It would be way more efficient to focus on how to motivate the whole class. Damn, she got owned! As it turns out, Kuze was right. Their classmates are super motivated about their overnight stay at the school, which helps them create a really good haunted house. They even win the Best Attraction award. For the after party, the school holds a folk dance. Kuze and Alia sit together watching the show. She mentions she has already turned down many guys who asked her to dance, and he replies, "That's the Ice Princess for you." But she doesn't like that nickname, especially the princess part, because it makes her sound like a spoiled snob. She knows she was born with above average looks and talent, but it annoys her when her efforts get ignored in favor of her birth. So he says he will make sure not to call her that. After that, she says she wants to repay him for everything he has done for the school festival and asks what he wants. He says he wants her permission to call her by the diminutive of her name, as is the Russian custom. So she lets him call her Alia, like her family does. Just then, a bunch of guys come over to ask her to dance, but Kuze ain't having it. He takes her hand and leads her to the dance floor, telling those guys she's taken. Sheesh, what a Chad move. Alia feels like her heart is about to explode. My girl fell in love right there. But all those emotions fade away the next day when she comes to school and finds him sleeping again. She thought he was really cool last night, so it let her down that he was still the same as ever. Back in the present, Alia tells her sister that was not a love story since they're just friends. And her sister says that's the classic progression, from friends to lovers. Masha says she and Sa were like that too. I wonder who this Sa is. The next day, Kuze goes to the student council to cover for his sister, and there he meets Masha. When they're introducing themselves, she freezes and asks for his given name, Masachka, her beloved Sa. She tries to confirm it's really him by speaking to him in Russian, but he keeps pretending he doesn't understand. They go shopping for some stuff for the student council, but unfortunately for her, her beloved Sa doesn't quite like her. Kuze thinks she's way too eccentric. If she's always like that, Alia must have gone through a lot. Ruthless. Now, while they're shopping, we randomly get a flashback of Kuze's childhood. One day, his father told him that he and his mother had decided to live separately, and Kuze chose to go with him. However, his sister decided to stay with their mom. That's why they use different last names and no one at school knows their siblings. Masha notices Kuze's lost in thought and looks pained, so she comforts him with a hug and kind words. Her touch and words feel so familiar and relaxing to him. He wonders why that is.